Hey, 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 and welcome to Just a Breezy Chat. This is the podcast channel to my YouTube channel, Breezyville. Um, so far a lot has happened um since our last podcast. Aside from work and everything else, I recently moved to Tennessee. For privacy reasons, I'm not gonna say which part, but I'm gonna be finishing my bachelor's here and everything. So, without further ado, let's jump into today's video, shall we? Um, probably wondering who's your Riley. What does that mean exactly? Well, how many of you have seen Boy Meets World? Okay, basically, if you've had, then you know that they did a spin-off called Girl Meets World. Well, it's really a reboot, basically, but tomato, tomato. So and it focuses on Corey and Topanga's daughter Riley and her friend Maya. Now, I'll be honest with y'all, growing up, I always said that I was more of a, like, when the show came out, like, I really thought I was a Maya. But honestly, I do have some of Maya in me, and I do have some of Riley in me. However, we all know Riley. You know, someone who's happy all the time, who doesn't really let the world get to her like it should. But I happen to think that, and this is just my opinion, that Riley Matthews actually might have depression like later on in life. Like, because she's, because honestly, I feel that, honestly. This is why Riley, like, I think I resonate with Riley so much, but yeah, think about who is your Riley? Because we all know someone, or we are that person who is a Riley. Because if you think about it, Riley is the happiest kid there is. But even the happiest kids have their moments if you really stop and truly think about it. Um, but that's the thing. She never lets the world in. She chooses her own strength. I think I also think that's what's part of her weaknesses. Now, keep in mind, this is all just my opinion on everything. But yeah, but think about it. Who is your Riley, or are you a Riley? It's kind of crazy now looking back at it. Like she represents so much, but I'm choosing to represent like the mental health part of it, really, because if you truly stop and think about it, she, she's gotta have some depression in her. Like unless you're naturally that happy all the time, sometimes you just gotta stop, let the world in. With that being said, I'm gonna segue into who do you like depression, anxiety for a minute. Like depression, anxiety is actually a real thing that a lot of people do not realize. Like for so long that we've been stigmatized, it's been a stigma that we have been conditioned not to talk about. And thing is, it's not easy because we want to talk to someone, but we feel like if we say, "Oh, I have depression" or "I have anxiety," people will look at us like we've done lost our minds, something's wrong with us, and everything else. But come on. I think we need to start normalizing talking about mental health and everything else. Because there's a chance you know someone that probably depression has led them to commit suicide, and it's not a fun thing to talk about. It's not something we should, like, we've been conditioned not to talk about it because that lets everyone else in. I know for me, growing up, like, the fact that I knew someone that was dealing with a lot of mental health issues. I've been conditioned. I was taught you don't talk about it, especially into the world I lived in. And I feel like in society today, this is changing now because it's an important topic that we need to talk about it. Like Robin Williams, look at him. He suffered from depression. And at the time, it's like it wasn't really common that you don't talk about it, you just hear about it. Like, I can bet you right now, there's a chance that there is somebody you know who suffers from depression and anxiety. Just saying. I like to think of depression as like for me really like I have depression and I have anxiety. I have some stuff from my past that I'm not going to talk about on this episode, but I think I have my depression under control for the most part. Like now, if the rug gets pulled from out from under me, it sets it off a lot of times. However, same. However, I try not to slip into that place. I try to be happy for everyone all the time. And eventually it gets to me. Like, we all know someone like that, like Riley. Like, she's happy for everyone all the time. But yeah, think about it. There's a chance somebody you know suffers from depression, even if they don't show it. So, what are some things we can do to really help with that? Start by learning and educating yourself. Make it okay to talk about. Seek therapy for someone you know who suffers from anxiety and depression. It's not easy to talk about, by no means, but it's something that we need to start raising awareness for any in general. Think about it. The more we educate ourselves, the more lives we can actually start to save. Alright, guys, that's it for today's episode of Just a Breezy Chat. I will see y'all next time, and y'all have a great day.